All right, greetings everyone. Welcome to Android development here. We just wrapped up creating our user interface. Now we're going to work with the string resources. So this @string question text, @string true button, @string false button. What on earth does that mean? Well, if you look at our directory hierarchy over here for our project, you'll notice that we have this values folder here under res, or resources. And if I expand that, you can see we have this file here called strings.xml. Right? These are our string resources. What this enables us to do is externalize strings in Android development. This is useful because we can just write the strings in this XML file and use them where we wish inside the application. This will also help make our apps support multiple languages easier later on in the class. All right, so let's add a few of these string resources we need. I'm going to say string name is equal to, and we had something called question text. We added that in our XML file, and I'll say Constantinople is the largest city in Turkey. That is our true-false question. Constantinople is the largest city in Turkey. Some of you might know the answer to this. And we want the text for our true button to just be true. And the text for our false button to be false. All right, so I'll save that. So these string resources are in this special file called strings.xml. So if I go back to my activity quiz XML, we notice those errors have gone away, right? So that's good news. All right, let me see our text here for the question is looking good. So if you notice here, I did type in a small error. Right, I'm seeing these rendering problems down here. One or more layouts are missing the layout width or layout height. Now, it's not telling me exactly what I did wrong, but you can see I mistyped something here. It says wrap context. It should be wrap content. Right? You can see once I make that change and save it, you can now see our true and false buttons are appearing in our preview menu, which is what we want. All right. So we have kind of a basic preview going on. Little bit of vocabulary here with the Android development. We have the term resource, right? A layout is a resource. Resource is a piece of your application that isn't code. So things like audio, images, XML files, all of that type of stuff. All of this stuff lives in our app res directory. So all the resources of our application go inside our res directory. All right. Now there's a special class that we're going to be working with when we do our Android development called R. All right. R is going to be a class that stores a lot of things. One of them is going to be a resource ID. Now, we'll never really need to alter R. Right? Our Android development environment, Android Studio in this case, is going to be altering that R file for us. But it might be useful to just kind of see that it does in fact exist. So you can see here I'm in this Android view. Let's go to the project view. Okay, and if I do that, we'll see an entirely different kind of view of our application. There's our app, source, main. Here's our Android manifest.txt. Here's a test case file. Let's go ahead and find the R file. That's kind of what we're trying to do here. So I'm going to go to app, build, generated, source, R, debug. Right, and inside here, we see an R file. If I open this, you can see that I'll expand these comments, and it says auto-generated file. Do not mess with, right? So you can see there's a whole bunch of IDs. You can see these IDs are hexadecimal numbers. Like I said, we'll never have to edit this, but we should be able to find, say, our true button in here. All right, so we can dig around in the R file and go ahead and find those. This will get auto updated as you add things to this application. Now, when we're in this project view, you'll be able to find the files we've been working on here under app, src, main. Java has our Java files. Here's our quiz activity. And here's the layout that we've been working with. Right, there's our layout activity quiz. So we're going to work with that in as the class goes on. All right. So what I need to do here is I want to give some names to these widgets I've been adding. Right. So a name is going to be an ID. So I'm going to say this thing has an ID of, and we're going to use a special syntax at plus ID slash. Right. It says create a new ID, and that's going to be true button. Whoops. And we're going to call this guy here false button. All right. So that's saying that these widgets, these button widgets, are going to have the names or IDs true button and false button. So what we've done is we've created some new resource IDs. All right. So we've created our user interface at this point for our simple kind of starting application. All right. So next step is going to be altering the Java code, altering the quizActivity.java to use this user interface and also to make it do things when these true and false buttons are pressed. That's going to be the topic of our next video.